As seen in recently published drone footage by the Saudi Arabia-based OT Sky drone firm, the forthcoming mega project known as The Line in Saudi Arabia is currently being constructed. Excavators can be seen in the video footage digging a vast hole in the desert as part of the construction of the linear city that will be 170 kilometers long and will be located in the Tabuk Province in the northwest of the kingdom. The line is planned to have a mirror facade and will stand at 500 meters. It will have the capacity to hold 9 million people and will be constructed on a footprint that spans 34 square kilometers. Ready to learn more about the line? Let's start. The project is an element of the larger $500 billion NEOM initiative, which aims to create a future metropolis with a mixed-use development that will include places for people to live, work, and play. Even though people worldwide are interested in the initiative, it also has caused many others to have questions. It's quite thrilling to have that blank canvas, Giles Pendleton, the project's executive leader, said in response to one of the commonly asked questions. I've spent a significant amount of time in this field working with sustainable real estate, cutting-edge technology, and other related topics. But what we're working on now is something that is yet to be done. We are led by an inspirational figure who can see the big picture and guide us to success. You may run against political limits, economic constraints, or technical constraints in other parts of the world. But by thinking about the infinite possibilities of the future, we are building this new future and we will be successful. When asked about the project, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman of Saudi Arabia stated that the line will be an example of zero-gravity urbanism, in which the city operations are piled vertically. The designs that were revealed today for the city's vertical layered communities will surely challenge the traditional flat, horizontal cities, and it will successfully create a model which will be for natural preservation and enhanced human livability, he said in a statement. He claimed that it would tackle the difficulties facing humanity in urban living today and will throw a light on alternate ways to live. The Crown Prince asserts that residents of the line, an area that features layered public parks and pedestrian zones, schools, housing, and places of employment, will be able to fulfill all of their daily necessities within a 5-minute walk of anywhere in the area. According to the statement, there will also be a high-speed rail system that would allow passengers to travel the entire route in 20 minutes. But the thing is that Saudi Arabia's vertical megacity would be an ecological disaster. Here's how. Number 1. It may make the occupants' lives more repetitive and prison-like. The enclosed structure may start to feel nearly like a prison. Because it is unclear which viewpoints would be accessible from within the majority of the system, it is difficult to speculate how residents might feel regarding their connection to the outside world. Even though it has excellent internal transportation links that can get inhabitants from one end of the city to the other in 20 minutes, there may be a need for more variation in residents' day-to-day lives. It is essential to inquire as to whether or not people are going to be content to use a single tramway to go up and down it every day monotonously for as long as they live in the city, possibly even their entire lifetime. The engineering limitations on their own are equally challenging to understand. The line would need to construct something comparable to Japan's Shinkansen to transport millions of people over a distance of 100 miles in just 20 minutes. However, even the fastest bullet trains can only go at a maximum of 200 miles per hour. That is sufficient to take you 66 miles in 20 minutes, but it's a long way from the commute time promised for the line. Number 2. It could have significant security risks. This super-fast transportation network, which may be a series of trams or a train, can potentially become a significant threat to the line's safety. Cities typically offer a wide variety of formal and informal transportation links, including trains, buses, taxis, private vehicles, and bicycles, among other options. These can make travel more resilient. For example, people in an area can find another route to depart the region even if a station is blocked or the train line is down. Similarly, the city might be more susceptible to the usual problems associated with breakdowns and maintenance. Residents may find themselves trapped in a particular portion of the town with no option but to walk if alternatives are not provided. Do you like the video till now? We have more interesting facts, so stay tuned, subscribe to our channel, and hit the like button. Number 3. It acts as a barrier to animal migration. The line design of the city will have significant repercussions for animals that travel around the area. Melissa Sterry is an expert in the field of sustainable city design. It will block animals' typical paths through the desert, like any other barrier of this length, whether it's a railroad track, a fence, or a wall. This will cause disruptions to the animals' everyday travels in the desert. Number 4. It's presumably created out of rare building materials that can't be found anywhere around here, and it wasn't made there. The line is a vast construction. We need enormous building materials to create it in the desert. The city will probably be built with a lot of concrete and glass. However, the new design renderings don't go into great depth. These materials are from sand, although not found in Saudi Arabia's deserts. This sand is too smooth for good binding and construction materials. As an alternative, you require a rougher, more angular sand dredged from the banks and beds of water sources, quarries, and coastlines, often illegally. Violence-filled mafias dominate much of the market in this loosely regulated sector, and environmental protection takes a back seat. At the national level, significant disagreements exist about the need for sand. We've been dredging up the ecosystems and terrains where that kind of sand is taken at will. These hard-to-find building supplies will need to be imported into Saudi Arabia and transported over considerable distances before they can be utilized to build the line. The metropolis may be powered by renewable energy, but the construction will have a huge carbon burden. Number 5. It's like a giant social experiment. The line, in contrast to cities such as London, which have often developed significantly as they have grown, is expected to be substantially designed before anybody moves in. It will be the kind of metropolis that comes fully assembled in a box. Because of this, it is very different from the majority of large cities that we are accustomed to. Many aspects of these cities and significant portions of them have been meticulously designed. However, their architecture is imbued with an inherent logic that is the product of the inhabitants' interaction with the city. People tend to congregate in areas that eventually become the sites of new cities. You might think of them as the thresholds through which humanity travels. This is obvious from the very highest level, which includes places where cities are established, such as ports, all the way down to the lowest level, which includes roads and crossroads representing generations of walkers heading toward the same destinations. Cities that have been meticulously laid out, such as the line, are more common in works of science fiction than in the real world. And if there is one thing that can be taken away from the most influential science fiction literature and movies of the past 70 years, it's that humans, being people, prefer having the freedom to choose. People like independence. People like free will. And when you put people in a rigorous environment who need to be micromanaged, they tend to throw up those systems. The line would be considered a great huge experiment, since it represents the social antithesis of what has historically worked. And that raises the question, will it be successful? The line may be constructed in stages, although it is not yet known whether those stages correlate to distinct neighborhoods. If the city as a whole is to have a reasonably consistent appearance, will people, corporations, and other entities have creative freedom over how their designs are conveyed, or will the city as a whole have a uniform appearance? Independent expression of architectural form is an essential component of traditional cities, despite the likelihood that such expression will not be possible inside a structure as restrictive as the line. When one considers this, one can't help but wonder whether or not the general people would accept it. Now that the topic has ended, you must have understood why the line may be the biggest disaster. If you liked the video, remember to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for further updates. Tell us how it went, and if you have any suggestions, please include them. We are interested in hearing what you expect from our content.